Hi everyone and welcome to the second video in Sealing Exhaust Fan tutorial series. In this video we are going to draw the biggest part of this exhaust fan, which is its main body. The shape is pretty simple except for several details on its grills. As usual, let's start with a new document. Switch to Part Design Workbench, then create a new body. Here I name it Bottom. Since we are going to draw the bottom grills first, create a new sketch, then choose XY plane. Activate the Circle tool, then create two circles like this. Set the outer radius to 50 millimeters. Then, set the inner circle radius to 42 millimeters. Now it's fully constrained and the sketch for the body's base is finished. With the sketch selected, activate the Pad tool. Here I keep the pad length at 10 millimeters. The next step is to create the motor holder. Select the top face, then create a new sketch. Move a bit, then create an arc with center at origin. Set its radius to 55 millimeters. Create external geometry to outer circle, then create two arcs that touch the edges. Make every arcs tangent with each other. Mark the right and left arc as equal. Next, create a horizontal line that connect both vertices. Set the side arc radius to 8 millimeters. Then set horizontal line length to 46 millimeters. Now the sketch for holder is fully constrained. With the sketch selected, activate the Pad tool. We need to reverse it so it pads to correct direction. Make sure to refine it to dissolve the unneeded edges. The next step is to bore the motor holder. Select the top face, then create a new sketch. Create a circle with center on origin. Set its radius to 49 millimeters. Next, convert it into a guide. Let's zoom to the holder. Create a new circle with center on the guide's edge. Set its radius to 2 millimeters. Then constraint it to Y-axis. Next, use Slot tool to create a capsule shape with center on guide's edge. Set its radius to 2.5 millimeters. Set the capsule distance to 5 millimeters. Then set distance between capsule's arc and Y-axis to 8.5 millimeters. Create another capsule in the left side. Make its line distance equal with the previous capsule. Then do the same for its arc radius. Make both arc centers symmetric against Y-axis. Finally, remove the redundant constraint. Now the bore sketch is fully constrained. With the sketch selected, activate the Pocket tool. Set its type to Through All. Now the holder's bore is finished. Next, we are going to make pockets around the bore. Select the top face, then create a new sketch. Create external geometries to bore arcs. Then, draw a capsule within those arcs. Set its radius to 4 millimeters. Then make the arc in other capsule equals. Now the sketch for pocket is fully constrained. With the sketch selected, activate the Pocket tool. Set its length to 5 millimeters. Now the pocket is finished. At this point, the holder shape is finished. We just need to clone it so it surrounds the center. Select the holder pad up to holder pocket. Make sure to select the pad first, to make sure the clones are created correctly. Select Polar Pattern tool. Set the occurrences to 4, then OK. Make sure to refine it to dissolve the unneeded edges. Now the holders are finished. Our next step is to create the small ribs for bottom grills. Unselect All Object. Then create a new sketch. Choose XY plane. Create a rectangle like this. Make the bottom edge symmetric against Y-axis. Remove the redundant constraint. Set the rectangle width to 2 millimeters. Set distance between the top edge and the origin to 111 millimeters. Then set distance between the bottom edge and the origin to 54 millimeters. Now our small ribs sketch is finished. With the sketch selected, activate the pad tool. Here I keep the pad length at 10 millimeters. Don't forget to refine it to dissolve the unneeded edges. With that done, our small rib is finished. Now we need to clone it. Select the small rib, then use Polar Pattern tool. Set its occurrences to 4, then OK. Now the small ribs are finished. Let's refine it again to dissolve the edges. Unselect the ribs, then let's draw the grills. Create a new sketch in XY plane. Let's make the first grill. Draw 2 circles like this. Set the smaller radius to 61 millimeters. Then set the other one to 63 millimeters. Let's continue with the second grill. Draw 2 circles again. Set the smaller radius to 73 millimeters. Then set the other one to 75 millimeters. Next is the third grill. Like before, draw 2 circles again. Set the smaller radius to 85 millimeters. Then set the other one to 87 millimeters. Now, to the last grill. Like before, draw 2 circles like this. Set the smaller radius to 97 millimeters. Then set the other one to 99 millimeters. Now the grill's sketch is finished. With the sketch selected, activate the pad tool. Like before, here I keep the pad length at 10 millimeters. With that, the grills are finished. Like usual, refine it to dissolve the edges. At this point, the grill is finished, so let's save our project. Next, we are going to draw the big ribs. Switch to the front view, then hide the grills we already made. Unselect everything, then create a new sketch in XZ plane. Draw an arc with both vertices in X-axis. Then create a line that connect both of them. Remove the redundant constraint. Set the width to 15 millimeters. Now the big ribs sketch is finished. Switch back to the top view. Select the sketch, then click Map Mode. Rotate it for 45 degrees around Y-axis. With the sketch selected, click Pad Tool. At this point, there is an error because there are multiple solids in one part. Just ignore it and set the pad length to 111 millimeters. As you can see, now there are only one solid, so the pad is success. Let's close the error message, then OK. Now our first big rib is finished. Like usual, refine it to dissolve the edges. Next, we are going to create pocket in the big rib. Zoom to the rib's end. Select its face, then create a new sketch. Like before, create an arc with vertices touching X-axis. Use Polyline tool to close the shape. Set the arc radius to 11 divided by 2. Here I set the vertical line to 2 millimeters. Now the sketch for rib pocket is fully constrained, so we can close it. With the sketch selected, click Pocket tool. Set its type to up to face. Then click the face in the center. Now the pocket is succeed, but for some reason the pocket ended on top. To fix it, just reverse the pocket direction. Now the pocket is finished. At this point, the shape for big rib is finished, so we just need to clone it. Select the pad, then the pocket. Select Polar Pattern tool. Set its axis to vertical sketch axis. Set the occurrences to 4, then OK. Make sure to refine it to dissolve the unneeded edges. Now the big ribs are finished. Next, we need to clean up the center hole. Create a new sketch, then choose XY plane. Create a circle with center on origin. Set its radius to 42 millimeters. Now the sketch is fully constrained, so we can close it. With the sketch active, select Pocket tool. Set its type to Through All. Then, reverse its direction. Now the hole has been cleaned. Like before, we need to refine it. At this point, the bottom area is finished. Next, we are going to move on to the middle area. Let's switch to Front View. Toggle the active body, then hide the bottom part we created before. Create a new body for the middle part. Create a new sketch, then choose XZ plane. Activate Polyline tool, then draw shape like this. Set the top edge's width to 130 millimeters. Set its height to 100 millimeters. Next, set the bottom edge's width to 110 millimeters. Now draw an arc like this. Make it tangent with its neighbor. Set its radius to 50 millimeters. Now the sketch for the base is fully constrained. Activate the Revolve tool, then OK. Now we just need to create its shell. Select the top face, then select the bottom face. Click Thickness tool. Set its thickness to 2.5 millimeters. Now the middle part is finished. Here is how it looks like together with the bottom part. Next, we are going to draw the top part. Toggle the active body. Then hide all parts we've created before. Create a new body to contain the top part. We want our top part is above the middle part. So, let's show the middle part again. Select its top face, then click Shape Binder tool. Now we can hide the middle part again, so it's easier to draw. Now we can start drawing using this binder as the base. Select the binder face, then create a new sketch. Use Centered Rectangle tool. Then, draw a square with center on origin. Make the left and bottom edge equal. Set its width to 300 millimeters. Now the sketch for top base is finished. With the sketch selected, click Pad tool. Set its length to 7 millimeters. Then reverse its direction so the binders stay on top. Now the base is finished. Next, we are going to fillet its corners. Select each corner. After that, activate Fillet tool. Set its radius to 8 millimeters, then OK. Next, we are going to make the shell. Select the bottom face, then click Thickness tool. Set its thickness to 2.5 millimeters, then make it grow inside. Now the shell is finished. Next, we are going to draw the corner support. Switch to Bottom View. Select the bottom face. Then create a new sketch. Let's zoom to one of the corner. Create external geometries to the outer edges. Here I hide the previous shell so it's easier to sketch. Activate Polyline tool, then draw a shape like this. Remove the redundant constraints. Create a fillet in bottom right. Make its radius equal with the external arc. Make the bottom and right edge equal. Select vertex in the left and in the right edge. Set its width to 17.5 millimeters. Finally, draw an arc in the place of the external arc. Now the sketch for corner support is finished. Activate the Pad tool. Set its type to Up to Face. Here I choose the bottom face. Now the corner support is finished. Make sure to refine it to dissolve the edges. Now we are going to bore the corner. Select the bottom face, then create a new sketch. Let's move to the corner. Create external geometries for several edges. With Polyline tool, draw two lines like this. Align these two vertices vertically. Then, align these two horizontally. Make both lines equal, then make them parallel. Convert those lines to guide, and now we got the center. Now draw a circle in that center. Set its radius to 2.5 millimeters. Now the bore sketch is finished. Activate the Pocket tool, then set its type to Through All. Now the corner's bore is finished. Next, we are going to draw the corner pocket. Switch to Top View. Select the top face, then create a new sketch. Let's focus to the corner. Here, we are going to look at the bottom. Create several external geometries from corner support. Now move back to the top view. Draw a rectangle like this. Create a fillet in the top right corner. Make the right and top line equal size. Set the distance between external right and the edge to 2.5 millimeters. Do the same for the top side. Set its width to 20 millimeters. Then align the arc vertex against the external arc horizontally. Now the pocket sketch is fully constrained, so we can close it. Here is how it looks like from the side. Now click the Pocket tool, then set its length to 3.5 millimeters. Now the corner shape is finished, and we just need to clone it. Select from Corner Support up to the pocket. Then click Polar Pattern tool, set its occurrences to 4. Once done, click OK. Now the corners are finished. Like usual, refine it to clean up the edges. Next, we are going to draw the bottom support. Let's move to the bottom. Select the bottom face, then create a new sketch. Draw a rectangle with center on origin. Use Fillet tool to fillet each of its corner. Next, make every arc has equal size. Make the bottom left arc and top right arc symmetric against origin. Set the arc radius to 8 millimeters. Make the bottom edge and the right edge equal. Then set its width to 265 millimeters. Next, we'll draw the inner rectangle. Click Rounded Rectangle tool. Then draw it like this. Set its arc radius to 8 minus 2.5 millimeters. Make the bottom and right edge equal. Set its width to 260 millimeters. Now we just need to put it in center. Select the bottom left arc center. Then select the top right arc center. Make them symmetric against origin. Now the sketch for bottom support finished. Let's close the Sketch tool. Now move to the front view. With Sketch selected, click Pad tool. Set its length to 20 millimeters. Now the bottom support is finished. Next, we are going to make the edge support. Select the bottom face, then create a new sketch. Let's zoom to the top side. Create external geometry for the inner edges. Let's hide the solid so we can draw the sketch easily. Draw a rectangle like this. Then, make its bottom edge symmetric against y-axis. Remove the redundant constraint. Constrain the bottom edge to the external geometry. Then, do the same for the top edge. Set its width to 2.5 millimeters. Now the sketch for edge support is finished. With the sketch selected, click Pad Tool. Here, I set its type to Up to Face. Like usual, let's refine the pad result. Now, we just need to clone it. Select the Edge Support pad. Then, select the Polar Pattern tool, then set the occurrences to 4. Now all supports are done. Like usual, don't forget to refine the result. Next, we are going to fillet several edges. By the way, fillet in FreeCAD is a bit finicky, so make sure to save before doing it. Select the top face, then click Fillet tool. Here, I set its radius to 1 millimeter. Click Select, then select all edges around the corner pockets. Once done, go back to preview mode. If there are no problems, click OK. Now, the fillet is finished. Our next step is to create a hole for the top part. Let's show the base sketch for middle part. Select the sketch, then create the shape binder. Let's hide the middle part again. Here I rename the binder for clarity. With the binder selected, click Groove tool. Set its axis to Z axis, then OK. Now the hole is created. At this point, the top part is finished. Here is how the entire top part looks like. Our next step is to merge every parts into one body. Let's show back the previously created parts. Then, toggle the active body. Switch to the Park workbench. Select all parts, then click Fuse tool. Refine the fusion result to dissolve the edges. Now the main body has been merged. Next, we are going to create the cable hole for the motor. The hole will be located in this big rib. It will cut through all, from the center grill to outer shell. Switch to the Sketcher workbench. Move to the front view. Let's hide the main body. Then, create a new sketch. Sorry, let's cancel it. Make sure to unselect everything, then create a new sketch. Set its plane to XZ plane. Use Arc tool, then draw an arc with center in origin like this. Switch to Polyline tool to close the sketch. Set the arc radius to 11 divided by 2. I set the line height to 2 millimeters. Now the sketch is fully constrained, so close it. Let's move to the bottom view. Here, I rename to make the sketch's purpose clear. Select its placement. Set its yaw to -45 degrees. Switch to the Part workbench. Select the sketch, then click Pad tool. Here I set its length to 150 millimeters, then OK. Let's rename it again. As you can see, the pad angle is correct, but the direction is wrong. So let's reverse its direction. At this point, the pad for cable hole is finished. Select the main body, then the cable hole pad. Then, click the Cut tool. Now the body is finished, complete with its cable hole. Like usual, don't forget to refine the cut result. At this point, our body is finished. However, as it is right now, it can't be used for assembly. We need to wrap it in something called assembly part. Let's switch to the assembly workbench. Then create a new part. Next, drag and move our body to the new assembly part. Now our body has its own local coordinate system and can be used for assembly. The last step is to set the appearance of the body. Select the final shape. Then, press Ctrl-D to open Appearance Config. Here I set its color to a light blue. Next, I reduce its point size and line width to make it prettier. Now our first part for ceiling exhaust fan is finished. I hope this tutorial is useful for you, and see you later in the next part of this series.